Hello, Mr. Ruth here. Our next lesson here is on adding and subtracting complex numbers. Again, a complex number is a number with an imaginary component, so a complex number might be 4 plus 3i. All right, so the main lesson here is that if you've done any work with algebra, adding and subtracting complex numbers is very simple. You just treat I like it was a variable. In other words, treat I like it was X or Y or Z or any variable you've been dealing with for the last several years in your mathematics education. So when I'm looking at adding and subtracting complex numbers, if I have numbers without variables attached to them, I combine those like terms, and then I look at the numbers with variables and I combine those like terms. So in this situation, I've got 3 plus 5, that's 8. 2i minus 3i, well, 2i minus 3i is negative 1i, and so my answer is 8 minus 1i. When it comes to complex numbers, I always want to write them with the numerical component first, then plus or minus, and then the component with I involved. I'm always writing it in the form a plus bi. Moving on to the next problem, 3 plus 2 minus 4i. In this situation, don't get fooled with the parentheses. There's nothing being distributed through, so I can just pop the parentheses off, and then I am just combining like terms. The 3 plus the 2 is 5, minus 4i, and there's my answer. All right, slightly more difficult problem. Again, I'm adding two complex, and this time I'm adding two complex numbers. But again, the parentheses aren't serving any function here. They're just showing me that this is a complex number and this is a complex number. But mathematically, I can just ignore the parentheses. And then I combine like terms. I've got 16 and 1 here. That gives me 17. I've got 7i and negative 2i. That gives me 5i. And that's my answer, 17 plus 5i. The ones that are a little bit difficult are when you are subtracting two complex numbers. The key thing to do here is to break it into two steps. First, distribute that negative through, and then combine like terms. If people make mistakes doing this type of operation, it's normally because they try to skip a step. I'm going to write this as 2 minus 3i. This is then negative 5, and then it's minus 2i because that negative distributes through. Now I'm combining like terms. I've got 2 and negative 5. That gives me negative 3. And I've got negative 3i and negative 2i. That gives me negative 5i. Thanks for watching.